care to elaborate on how this might affect the investigations or prosecutions of public corruption and bribery case that you just mentioned?
Well, I'm concerned that the department is going to cease to have an ability to prosecute public corruption, that there's going to be the expertise necessary to do that, or the direction to do that. And so, again, I think there's short-term costs and long-term costs.
Isn't PIN also kind of a gatekeeper or for even beginning any kind of prosecution or investigation of public figures or congressional members? Like, don't department regulations require that PIN be consulted or provide approval before certain steps can be taken, or litigation can commence?
That's correct. There are several enumerated investigative steps or procedures that public integrity oversees. It's not so much for public figures, but more for, again, members of Congress, people who are in government positions where the investigations are sensitive, and it's important that we get it right and we do it, work on the same standards, everyone works off the same standards.
And what happens when public integrity is dismantled and that protection is removed?
Well, it always existed during my career in the department, and I fear without it, there'll be, as I said, an inability to prosecute public corruption, and also a lack of expertise that when you do it, to do it the right way.
I think during the majority hour, there were some intimations that, PIN sometimes maybe rubber stamping approvals, or when, prosecutors consult with them, they just provide their clearance or approval without really engaging with the issues. Has that been your experience?
No.
All right.
Well, we're going to turn now to the classified documents investigation. We want to ask a few questions. We understand the disclosure that your attorney said at the beginning and some that you talked about during earlier questioning, but we do have a few questions, and we're going to enter into a record. It'll be at Exhibit 13, which will be the superseding indictment filed in the Southern District of Florida on July 27th of 2023. It's the United States versus Donald Trump, vaulting now to Carlos de Oliveira. And when we ask questions, we're going to be referencing this document, which is docket number 85 of the court. So I'll give you a chance to look at the document. I'm sure you're very familiar with it, but as I ask questions, I will do my best to reference paragraphs in this indictment. Before we actually get to the substance of this indictment, and I might have just said this, but I just want to make it, what court did you, or what district did you actually indict Mr. Trump for mishandling of classified documents and his obstructive behavior after he left office in 2021?
The Southern District of Florida.
And can you explain to us why you sought the indictment in Florida versus, for example, Washington, D.C.?
When I took over supervision of this investigation, the investigation was pending in a grand jury in Washington, D.C. Actually, I just want to think now whether the answer to the question about venue is something, if you have a filing about that, I'd be happy to answer it. I don't think there's anything about venue in this indictment, and so otherwise, I don't want to address that in the event that it's in the final report and not somewhere else.
Okay. Understood. I understand. Actually, let's just move on then to page 38 of this indictment. Let's talk about the charges that were actually brought in the Southern District of Florida. Can you summarize for us? I know we haven't gotten to it very much, but can you summarize, starting with page 38 through 52, the charges against Mr. Trump and his co-conspirators related to the classified documents that he kept after leaving office in January of 2021?
Sure. Counts 1 through 32 charge Donald Trump with willful retention of national defense information. This regards classified documents. The remaining counts relate to, and they charge Donald Trump, Waltine Nada, and then other counts, I believe, also charge Carlos de Oliveira with various counts relating to attempting to obstruct that investigation, whether it by be moving boxes so that those boxes wouldn't be found by an attorney who was doing a search of documents to return to the government, and also false statements by, I believe, both Mr. de Oliveira and Mr. Walt Nada, and I think there's also in here counts related to attempts to destroy video footage and delete security camera footage related to all three of the defendants.
Thanks. So let's walk through what you just described, but through the lens of the indictment. So let's start with page 10. I believe you talked about boxes of classified documents when you were just giving your summary. Can you describe, there's a picture on page 10. What do we see in this picture on page 10 of the indictment?
Okay, these are some of the, and it's referenced in the paragraph above. These are some of Donald Trump's boxes that were brought from the White House and then stored in various places. In this particular photograph, it shows them being stored on a ballroom stage at the Mar-a-Lago Social Club.
And do you know what, you said the ballroom, is the gold ballroom, I believe that's what's in the indictment in paragraph 26?
The white and gold ballroom, yes.
White and gold ballroom. What was the purpose of including these photos in the indictment?
I think it was important to lay out the facts of our case, and sometimes a picture can lay out the facts more clearly than words, and can make the words have more clear meaning. And so here, I think they show the sort of circumstances in which these boxes were being kept, boxes that contained highly classified documents.
So going along that same theme, if we go to page 12, there's another picture of, it appears, boxes. Can you describe to us, and I believe it's in the indictment, so in paragraph 30, but can you describe what we see in this picture with the boxes on this page 12 of the indictment?
Yes, I think the photo on page 12 actually refers to the paragraph before that, the paragraph 29, and this is, the indictment lays out that these boxes were moved around to various locations where lots of people had access to them. After they were on the ballroom stage, they were in a business center, and then moved to a bathroom and shower in the lake room. And you can see that you can see the shower curtain behind the boxes. And so that's the room that's referred to there.
And the last picture I asked about is on page 14, and on paragraph 32, it looks like Mr. Nata texts another employee and says, quote, "I opened the door and found this," and Nata attached two photographs that he took of the spill, looks like of documents. Can you describe this picture as well, which is on page 14 of the indictment?
Sure. So this refers to paragraph 32 of the indictment, and I believe it's blurred out in this picture, but one of the classified documents that's actually charged in the case is visible in this picture. I think it's count 8, and this is a room where others had access to. Obviously, someone was able to go in there and spill this box of documents, and Mr. Nata took a picture of it. So I think it shows how accessible these documents were and the sort of manner in which they were, the care with which they were kept.
The court-authorized search of Mar-a-Lago has been subject of lots of discussion on this committee. I think an important question to ask, I'm going to reference paragraph 38 on page 17, was whether any government agencies or individuals within the government had tried or attempted to collect the classified documents from President Trump after he left office in January of 2021.
Yes. Sticking specifically to the indictment we have in front of us, beginning in paragraph 38, these paragraphs detail efforts by the National Archives and Records Administration to recover, I think the originally, it wasn't to recover classified documents, it was to recover presidential records that were missing. In the effort to do that, and as you can see, that took several months. What they eventually got was a number of boxes. I believe it was, I think he said it was going to be 12 boxes, and then it was 15 boxes, yes. What came back was a large number of highly classified documents, including secret documents, top secret documents being documents that would cause grave danger to the national security.
Turning to page 21, paragraphs 51 and 52, did the FBI open a criminal investigation into the potential classified material at Mar-a-Lago after President Trump left office in January of 2021?
That's correct. The dates are stated here. And that was obviously before I became special counsel.
And did a federal grand jury open an investigation, which I believe is referenced in paragraph 52?
Correct.
And why did the FBI open its investigation, the federal grand jury open its investigation based upon the referral of an agency? And I believe it might be referenced in paragraph 50.
Yes, there was a referral by NARA to the Department of Justice on February 9th.
Staying on page 21, after opening its grand jury investigation, did the grand jury issue a subpoena for all documents with classified markings?
Yes, and you're referring to paragraph 53, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, the grand jury did.
So after sending out this grand jury subpoena, I believe this is when the most of the obstructive conduct takes place. And so we're going to be flipping through pages 21 through 26 of the indictment. And I believe the indictment even titles this conduct as the defendant's concealment of boxes. Sticking to the indictment, can you summarize for us the efforts that the defendant took to conceal the boxes of classified documents in Mar-a-Lago?
Sure. So paragraph 53 references the fact that a grand jury subpoena was issued on the 11th of May, and that two attorneys representing Donald Trump informed him of the subpoena, and he authorized them to accept service. So he was on notice of the subpoena at that point. 11 days later, Walt Motto, who was the parlance, I think, is his body man. He'd previously been a valet for him at the White House, went into the storage room, which was the landing place, the last place these boxes were, and left 34 minutes later carrying one of President Trump's boxes. The next day is the day that Donald Trump met with his attorneys to discuss the subpoena. They told him that they would need to search for the subpoenas and provide a certification to show that they were in compliance with the subpoena. And below that is a number of statements that one of those attorneys memorialized that Donald Trump said during that conversation. And paragraph 56 would be as well. Paragraph 57, Donald Trump confirmed his understanding that one of those attorneys would return to the club on June 2nd to search for any documents with classification markings to satisfy the subpoena. And Donald Trump indicated that he actually wanted to be there that day when he returned to look at the boxes. He told the second attorney that second attorney didn't need to be there. And so after that meeting, he had planned to depart Mar-a-Lago, but he changed his summer plans to be there on the 2nd when the first the attorney came to review the boxes.
I'm going to stop you real quick.
Sure.
So I want to make sure this movement of boxes is clear from the indictment, and I want to reference paragraph 59, I believe. So it sounds like you were able to determine, the evidence showed from this indictment, that Mr. Trump directed Mr. Nata to remove the boxes of documents from the storage room in Mar-a-Lago. Is that correct?
Correct.